Hello, and welcome once again to Ask the Teacher, the program where your questions get answered. And today, like always, we are shooting from the Waffle Suits. You can see we are in one of their rooms, and you can see how nice these rooms look like. Get an opportunity, come spend here with your family. Waffle Suit is situated off Kanu Street, Nakuru. This is a nice place to come. To our question of the day. Wow. Yes. This question comes from a parent who apparently has a young child, according to the parent, and the child has asked a question. So the parent asks, my 6-year-old has asked a question about sex. What do I say? My 6 years old has asked a question about sex. What do I say? Wow. When we started off and I was saying about the need for this channel and especially this playlist, the Ask the Teacher, I said one of the things we would like to do is to build a library for caregivers. So here is a parent who has a 6-year-old who has asked a question which the parent feels is above her age. And most of us will remember that where we are coming from, those of us who are in our 40s and 50s, if you ask some of these questions, you would either be beaten or told to stop asking about things that belong to adults. But here we are in a new age where our children are getting exposed to information very early in life. And so this parent is saying the child has asked a question on sex, and she's wondering how to handle the question. Apparently, she has not told us what the question is, but I think she's surprised that her child even knows about that. But let's say that, number one, the current crop of children get exposed to information that was not available to other generations because they are watching TV, and most of the time we are not there. You know, as a parent, if you go to work, the house girl is in the house, she will not necessarily watch child-friendly programs. She might watch programs that will expose the child to other things that might feel like they are above her. But this is what I have to say concerning when a child asks a question, any question for that matter. And it is important for us to know that children ask many questions and they expect answers. Unfortunately for most of us, only about 5 or 10% of those questions get answered by us. Most of the other questions we brush away. But children will ask questions. So that's the first thing you must know, that children ask questions. And actually, even for the children who are learning to speak, questions become very much part and parcel of their lives. And our current children ask questions that we did not ask. So number one, children ask questions. Number two, when children ask questions, those questions should be answered. And that is where now wisdom is needed. So allow me to say this. Children ask questions and the questions must be answered. Not just should, they must be answered. And so let me give the principle. This is the principle, that when a child asks a question, they are ready for the answer. When a child asks a question, they are ready for the answer. It is therefore the responsibility of the adult to break down the answer to the level of the child. You break down the answer to the level of the child. But when the child has asked a question, they are ready for the answer. And I want you to note, if you do not answer that question, the child will go looking for information. Chances are they will ask their peers, they will Google if they are a bit bigger, or they will ask others. And it should be that the parent becomes the first port of call when it comes to questions. So as parents, we need to keep building capacity on ourselves. But this is not something hard, because it is just that we need to break it down for them. I would guess if a child asks, what is sex? And asks a parent, and the child is 6 years old, and the parent will get flabbergasted. They might not know what to answer, but you can break it down. You can break it down to the level of the child. I would not want to give you pointers to how, because the breaking down will be dependent on the exposure of the child. What have they seen? So actually, sometimes when the child asks a question, it is always important to find out where is it coming from, so that you can know how to tackle it. So 3 things. Number 1, children ask questions. That's normal. Number 2, questions must be answered. That's normal. Or that should be standard. And then number 3, the principle that a child is ready for a question when they ask. So it is the onus of the caregiver, it is the onus of the parent, it is the onus of the adult to break the answer to a level that the child can understand. That calls for communication with your children. Find out where the question came from, find out why they are asking, and then relate and communicate with them. That's what the teacher has to say.